Hey everyone, it's TheHylainKnight, and welcome back for the first time in, I think, like a month or two, to my method series. I haven't made any progress since I got the, Blizzard in a bottle. That was the last thing I did. I've gotten, like, a couple pieces of armor as of yesterday, but Terraria isn't really in my interest at the moment. Right now, I'm, like, really into my Skyrim and fucking Elder Scrolls Online craze is up at the moment. That's not the important thing, though. What is our current, do I have bombs? Do I have a demolitionist? Yes, I do. What's important right now is what I want to talk about, which in this case is going to be building, or character making. It's something that is very tricky, despite being, something that's very important to a story. You're going to want to make your main character, be interesting and have some edge, but not enough of an edge that they're going to be, able to breeze through everything. Maybe they'll be able to breeze through lower stakes stuff later on, but, for the point at which you start your story, you just want them to be pretty tame in comparison. I already have bombs in a chest somewhere, don't I? Which chest? First chest. Explosives. There they are. 100 and goddamn. Let's take slime as well. Where's the corruption? I'm mostly just going to be preparing for Eater Worlds at the moment, and then probably trying to explore the jungle a little bit, dig out the pyramid. Not the pyramid, the jungle temple. But yeah, so creating character. I'm going to be using something else, which I touched up on briefly in my Toho Thursday. SCP Foundation, not Project. It's Toho Project I'm thinking of. But SCP Foundation. Despite everything that's happened, I still like it well enough, and it's a very noble concept, which is why people make anomalies. Not all of them get through, for a very specific reason, and the exact same reason as character building. Let me actually talk about this before I start going on another tangent or something, okay? So, when making a character, you're going to want to figure out how they are. And by that, I just mean how they will react to certain situations. If someone had a rough life and is going to be a lot more superstitious about something, or are they going to be very trusting? Not only that, but in the case of, say, a supernatural thing, their abilities. You do not want them to be like, say, Hylain is for me. Because Hylain, I had him start as a very... Get away from there. I had him as a character start out as a very skilled captain of the guard, and then he just became an archangel. Like, okay. Something got lost in progression here. It's not wrong, but there is something to be said about how quickly that escalates. Especially with, in his case, how the story that I had in mind for explaining away Hylain Andreas was started with Andreas and had him do an actual climb, and then Hylain just got, boosted up. Screams Echo. Okay, cool. We got what we needed. Unfortunately, I feel I need platinum armor if I want to go up against this guy. So we are not going to be opening anything else until I get myself some more platinum. There's the Vile Thorn. Where was I? Right. Ooh, Demonite. When did I get some of that? Yeah. But in, making a reality warper in SCP, generally frowned upon. You do not want to make a reality warper anomaly, because they are very hard to balance and make them seem fair. It's hard to contain something if it can just open a fucking 3-meter circle straight to the end of their containment, like to the edge of the facility, you know? So, in the case of, say, the witch child, she can only do what she thinks, which means that they have to specially convince her about certain things, as well as keep her in a comatose state as often as they can, in order to make sure she doesn't warp reality. She is very strong, but she's also easily manipulated. Where am I? Here, okay. So, making someone that can just change things on a dime, regardless of whatever, that's not really gonna fly. That said, doing something about those in an interesting way is very much so permitted. For instance, an idea that I had been playing with over the past few days. A set of 11 books, as of when I came up with it, that are able to tell someone their entire story over the course of every volume. I, of course, blank out for a second as I start doing this. But yeah, it's like, as they read, they see the events of their life. The first, like, 3 to 5 volumes are their youth and adolescence, moving on to their adult life, maybe even leading straight into when they read the book, depends on when they were detained. But overall, just a fortune-predicting book of sorts. And this, of course, accumulates in the greatest event of their life, the end of their story, their death. In the case of someone like Dr. Bright, well, I suppose Elijah Shaw now, since, you know, things. I don't really know how it would actually react. That's a very interesting thing. It might be, well, I'm not making it one of the experiments. I'm not making it one of the experiments if I ever actually did, like, workshop this idea more. But things like that, that's a very interesting concept. What would happen if someone who was effectively immortal to even aging were to pick up the book? Would it do their lives? The lives of the person that Jack Bright's host body is for? I feel like that would probably be the most likely outcome in order to circumvent the, like, problem that brings up. But, ooh. Yeah. Like, that is a very novel concept on it. A series of books that just tell you your life. As opposed to that. The set of limitations to it, if you read too far, you will inevitably end up determining your fate. Let me also do that real quick. Yeah, if you read too far, you will end up determining your fate, because the events in the books are, well, what you read is what's supposed to happen. Part of me was thinking, well, what if there was an experiment to circumvent fate? And thus, I ended up making a little scenario, one of the tests, but again, don't worry about that. I'm not here to gloat about something I fucking made. I'm here to talk about character creation. So, giving them an ability that's used in an interesting way would be the end of that section. Another example, a character of mine called another character called Aiden Marshall. He's a necromancer, but mostly uses his abilities to investigate corpses and such. He's a private investigator. In doing so, he's able to determine what sort of magic was used, or what sort of magic was used, the actual effectivity of the curse, and who could have done such a thing, as well as maybe even triangulate the position. That sort of thing, you know? We take something that's normally considered like a bad thing in magic, necromancy, and use it for something interesting. Forensic work. finding a way to use something in an interesting and new way is probably the easiest way of making a very interesting and cool character. Or just taking an archetype and turning it on its head. Like Harry Dresden in the Dresden Files series. He's a wizard, but also a private investigator. He uses his abilities to get by day to day investigating whatever. Like he's paid to. Car keys, all that. It's another novel way of taking the usual wise Shadow Wizard money gang and turning it into... He's just a guy trying to find, like, someone else's keys and shit normally. I mean, things have gotten fucking wild, like, in the most recent editions of the story, but that's what it originally boiled down to. You can build up craziness from that normal and very tame beginning. You're trying to hook your viewers into this. You're trying to hook your readers into, like, continuing, not trying to give them explosions. This isn't Hollywood, okay? This isn't a Tom Cruise movie. Don't just do that, please. Yeah, as far as that's concerned, making someone reasonable and giving them an interesting power that is not normally used in that way is the best way I can think of. It applies, as I said, to even SCP anomalies. Because if you make something, like, in a novel way, like, the only thing limiting you is probably if that thing was made by someone else before. Which is honestly kind of a concern. There's, like, what, we're on 7,000 now, I think, as far as item numbers are concerned with SCP. 7,000, man, goddamn. Otherwise, yeah, that's about it. That's all the advice I can give on character creation. Just don't go, like, super strong deity nuts. Or if you do, make it something, like, turn it on its head. You know? If I had to at least give myself some point for Island, it's that he doesn't really follow a pantheon of any sort. He's an angel without a god. He just kind of does his thing. These days, normally, just kind of practicing his percussion work. Making sure he stays on top of his actual, like, sword game, you know? Like, just living his life. He's immortal, he's an angel, but that's about it. I don't know, it's like, just take it into consideration and figure out your own truth. Yeah, that's the source of all sage wisdom, is telling someone some, like, mystic shit, and then saying, ah, yes, you will have to discover your own truth. That's how it works, right? Tell me the monasteries were wrong. I dare you. Anyways, yeah, as I said, though, that's probably gonna be about it. That's all I can really offer on character creation. Is just make something, try and make something a twist on what it normally is. And usually that will turn out really well, provided you are reasonable about it. Alright? I've been Howlin' Prison River. I will see you guys next time, and next time in Terraria, for world building, storyline building. Alright? I'll see you guys then.